If you're feeling lost in your community, it might not be you. I want to share three reflections as a healer and a coach, something that I have seen over and over again in building my community over the last 6 years. And as a healer and a coach, I'm sure this is something that you've thought about, or maybe you're going through right now. If you're feeling lost in your community, it might not be you. All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. As promised, if you are feeling lost in your community, it might not be you. And here are three observations that I know will make a difference to you. The first is, of course, to tune into vibrations. So, as a healer, you already know that vibrations are real, vibrations are true. And so, if you have been pushing those vibrations aside and maybe telling yourself that it's okay, this too shall pass, remember the first thing is to tune into those vibrations. Because when you do tune into those vibrations, you will start to notice, you'll start to see the signs of what's actually happening inside. Because very often when we do this kind of work, it's more joyful, it's more fun, there are more happy times when we are doing it with others who are there to support us in the community. So one part is, of course, to build your own community. The second is to have a community that's here to support you. And if you are feeling lost in your community at this point, remember to tune into the vibrations. Why do I say tune into the vibrations? Because when you tune into the vibrations, the second thing that you're doing is that you're now starting to trust your inner voice. Because very often, when we are on the journey, maybe you found a community in the early phase, and it seemed like they were here for you and you were getting what you had come for. But somewhere along the way, there was some kind of disconnection. And so, when you learn to trust your inner voice, that is when you're willing to listen to what your inner voice is telling you. And when you actually listen to what your inner voice is telling you, sometimes you may not be hearing what you want to hear, uh, because it may not just be you, it may be because of who you are becoming. And so, when you're willing to trust your inner voice, that is what will guide you, which brings me to the third point, right? So, one is to tune into vibrations, two is to trust your inner voice, and thirdly, when you literally listen to your inner voice, that is when you allow magic to happen. And you know this deep down inside, you are magic, but sometimes along the way on the journey, we forget. And so when you allow this magic to happen, that is when you will experience so many moments of serendipity. You will have these opportunities to actually step into the version of you that you are already becoming. So rather than being small, rather than shying away, when you actually are willing to step into this, that's when you will be guided onto new adventures, whether that is within your existing community or maybe as a stepping stone for you to move into a different space and come across other people who are more aligned to who you're being now versus who you were maybe a year ago, maybe 5 years ago or more. So, as always, these pods are made for you as a reminder to you, being a healer, being a coach, that we do change, and you always are looking and you want that community to support you. Before I go, we do, of course, do this live, which means we have people who tune in, and I see Raji's here. Raji says, just a random thought. Will we outgrow our community as a healer and a coach? Maybe, right? It all depends on the community. If your community is growing, keeping pace with you growing personally, then would you be outgrowing it? You'll need to answer that. You can answer that. um, but But what happens sometimes is that, oh, okay, I love that. That's the second part, right? This is, of course, as a creator of a community, um, can you outgrow your community? It is possible. I know in my own life, over the last so many years, I've had different communities at different points. And as I changed, as I evolved, there were people that were able to come along, and there are a lot of people that were tuned into a different frequency, a different vibration. So, yes, to answer your question in simple terms, can you outgrow, not will you outgrow, but can you outgrow your community as a healer and a coach? Possible. But again, that's what makes this journey so much of magic. As I said, tune into the vibrations, trust your inner voice, and of course, allow the magic to happen. Rather than trying to control, we are allowing the magic, we are allowing our unconscious mind to truly be our guide. So, as always, I appreciate you for tuning in, whether you're watching this live or whether you happen to be watching this later. If you just sort of stumbled into it, may this message be your guide. And having said all of that, as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Take care.